Hello everyone, Counterspell Hater here, back with another EDH guide. Before we dive into this one, I'm asking you guys to please like and subscribe. And comment. I've been missing the feedback from you guys. I really loved it when you guys comment. It meant a lot to me, showed me what I was doing wrong. And also you guys gave requests, which if you want to give a request on this channel, and it's always open, to make it a request, you have to be the first to comment on this video. And in the case that you are, type the name of the commander that you want to see that has not already been featured on this channel, and maybe even a style for it. So like Pelucranos, Mono Green Sacrifice, if that's even a thing, or like an aristocrat style deck like Ramos Aristocrats or Reanimator. But even if you are not the first and you're not able to make a request on this video, please comment anyways. I've been missing the feedback from you guys, like I said, and I love to kind of interact with you guys and also see all the positive support. I've kind of been missing that, and keep subscribing. I like that. For a while we had our numbers going up, and I'd like that to keep going. And we've kind of been filtering on that lately, but that's not me saying that that's a problem. It's just I'd like it if you would keep going with that. That shows me that you care and that you are willing to support this channel. Thank you to the 35 of you who are, however, who are currently still subscribed, and you could be one of those people who just tap the subscribe button. And also, if you want like subscriber specials, then just let me know. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, that way you don't miss another video on my channel or any upcoming content. And also share this video along with other videos found on my channel with other people. And with that said, let's dive into this commander guide. So today we're looking at Bess Soul Nourisher. So this is a 1/1 matters kind of deck. And so this is about kind of go wide, go big, really quick, swing, be aggressive. So standard green-white tokens, except not, because it actually does matter about the tokens you create, because in order for Bess here to get buffed up, those tokens or creatures, I guess, that you're playing need to be creatures with base power toughness from 1. Anything else will not buff up our commander here. So with that said, let's get on to it. So we've got Risk the Redeem to create 1/1s and double up on our tokens for 6 mana. Also a very nice 1-drop, and it's a 1/1, so playing this, whether we have Bess out or not, is good either way. Living Hive, since this is getting buffed up and has trampled, this could end up creating a bunch of 1/1s for us, although it'll only trigger our commander once, but still that's more 1/1s that when we attack with Bess and all of our other creatures along with those 1/1s, they'll get buffed up. So more the merrier. Or a mutation, deal with something annoying and create tokens in the process. Mycolith, probably would recommend in this deck, since you're able to go so wide so quick. You'll be able to sacrifice a lot of tokens in case they're not doing anything good for you, or if you just need a rather big blocker instead of many little ones, Mycolith can provide, and it'll get you an army pretty fast. March of the Multitude, since we're going wide, we can take advantage of Convoke on this card to create a very large amount of tokens with lifelink, so I can help stay in the game. Verdant Force can buff our commander throughout our opponent's turns at the game and ours at the beginning of each upkeep. So you imagine it goes our upkeep, then when we're in a 4-way, and so like a full rotation gets us 4 1/1s, and well, by the time it comes back to this, I guess you would say 5 1/1s, because you imagine it starts with us and then ends with us. You get what I'm saying? So that'd be 5 1/1s and 5 postal counters, or 4 1/1s and 4 postal counters, depending on how you look at it. Still buffing up our commander a bunch. Scoot Swarm, this gets out of hand quick, and this is a 1/3, but still gets out of hand fast. Go watch some of my MTG arena videos. This thing has crashed my game. You don't know why if you just go watch. Pest Infestation to destroy multiple artifacts and enchantments. So in case we've got like an annoying artifact player and enchantment player who's playing like controlling enchantments, like, or if there's like something like an omniscience on the battlefield, or Fires of Invention, which I don't think anyone plays that in EDH. I don't know. Or maybe just something annoying. Probably be dealing with most of the stuff seen in Chemigod Neon Dynasty here lately. Ant Queen, I would definitely recommend this deck because of its activated ability, being able to create a 1/1 token at a time. And because of that, you'll probably be able to get more triggers out of Bess, buffing her up than you would like with out of most creatures, because like most creatures in this deck create their tokens all at once, whereas this can create a 1/1 every time you activated it, like a singular 1/1. So you're getting a lot of that. But Iridescent Horn Beetle can also get you a lot. Like I said with Scoot Swarm, go watch some of my NGG Arena content, because this thing can turn the tide of the game. Especially in this deck, I would recommend this in this deck as well, because it creates 1/1s, and the number of 1/1s it creates a game of your end step is equal to the number of postal counters you put on creatures under your control this turn. Which if you're putting like an insane amount of creature postal counters on your creatures throughout your turn, and then you're going to be getting a big yield of 1/1s. Storm Herd. For in case we've got like a situation on our hands where we just need a big amount of blockers, but we have like a nice life total, but it's still maybe our opponents have still have lethal on us. Deploys to the front and Nomad's Assembly. Go wide very quick. Haunted Library for aristocrats. Being prepared for every like instance that we may be going up against can be very, very beneficial. Probably one of the key factors to winning a game, and it lead to you winning more games more often. So by being prepared for like mostly every instance, like every deck you could probably be going up against, or most of them, you're more likely to win because your plan is more flexible. And Haunted Library is one of those kind of example cards, because this is able to help you combat like aristocrats, like black, white, black, green, sacrifice, Golgari type decks, Rakdos especially, because the more they have to kill, the less time they have to kill you. Bosses, Chauffeur, Canarin as a rather big creature, so another nice big blocker. And it gets buffed up whenever another creature is buffed under your control. And this deck is going to be getting very big. And when it dies, we can create a whole bunch of 1/1s. Animation module. Since we're putting this, I'm trying to remember because if you have Hearthstone, then animation module here could go infinite, I think. But even if you don't, you could go somewhat infinite within a turn with animation module, because the tokens it creates are 1/1 servos, and then that would buff up your commander, and you then pay the 1. So depending on how much mana you have, you could get a lot of 1/1s and buff up your commander even more than what Ant Queen would. So animation module would also recommend this. I mean, it's also 1-drop, and it proliferates to a smaller scale, if you know what I mean. Orochi Hatchery, in case we have a lot of mana to dump in, like we're not doing anything, and we just want a bunch of creatures. Well, now we can with Orochi Hatchery being a double X spell, we can do that. Tendershoot Dryad, like Verdant Force, 5 or 4 saplings depending on how you look at it. Within a full rotation, that's 5 more multiple counters, and it's gonna be very easy to get a send. I mean, 10 more permanents, that's easy, which will then buff up our saplings. But even though from that point forward, if we have the City's Blessing, our saplings will be entering in as 3/3s. Their base power and toughness is still 1, so they will still trigger our commander. Brood Hatch Nantuko, great blocker because it can create us a bunch of tokens. Like this thing goes up against a block, but Galta, excuse me. I mean, you will be dealt 11 trample damage if you're just blocking with this alone, which I would not suggest. Taking like 11 to the face, ouch. But this can create you a lot of tokens if need be when blocking or when attacking, because if you're attacking and you have Bess out, then this will get buffed up, probably pretty big, and can end up surviving unless, of course, your opponent has a bunch of Death Touch creatures. Doubling Season, Parallel Lives, Branching Evolution, Annotated Procession, and Second Harvest are all in here to either double up on plus counters, or more than anything, double up on tokens we create to help us go even wider. Song of the World Soul can help us trigger off Bess even more by creating more 1/1s thanks to Populate whenever we cast a spell. Drashani to keep us in the game via life gain and also to populate with it once each turn. Wayfaring Temple, just as a big creature and another way to populate. Pollen Bright Wings for when our commander, most likely you're going to be attaching this to our commander or a big creature, so when it deals damage, we can go wide even more so than what we already have, thanks to the combat damage trigger on this. Sakai Season's Guide, kind of an eternal blocker, and it can end up buffing up our commander a lot. So say your opponent has an 8/8, right? And you just block with Sakai, right? All 8 of that damage is prevented, and then you would get 8 1/1s, sure. And then your commander triggers off from the 1/1, the 1 or more 1/1s entering the battlefield. But then you can sacrifice 8 spirits to return Sakai from your graveyard to the battlefield, which is big, because then you block again, you get another bunch of tokens. Now, the thing is with Sakai is that, think of this. You block 8. No, wait, you can't do that. If you attack and 8 1/1s block Sakai, and he's got 8 power exactly for whatever reason, if he's not buffed up by Bess, then you remove 8 of those 8 counters individually for each, because that's each time damage would be dealt to Sakai. So then instead of just one plus counter being put onto Bess, even though you'd be creating 8 in the instance we previously talked about, in this instance, each of those tokens that you create being created separately, Bess is instead getting 8+1/+1 counters, if that makes sense to you. I can help you guys understand that. Moving on, Vorinclex, like everything else, second artist, Song of the World, Soul, Annotated Precision, Branching Evolution, Parallel Lies, Doubling Season. He's in here to double up number of +1/+1 counters, and also can put a big dent in our opponent's plans by halving the number of +1/+1 counters. Well, not just +1/+1 counters, but any amount of counters they put on opponents they control. Run it down, or any player. Celestiologist. So like I was talking about earlier, we're trying to be prepared for any type of deck. So by having this card here, we're prepared for like Golgari, Aristocrats, because then we're able to exile creature cards from the graveyard. So this can save us from getting wiped out by a Rise from the Dark Realms, or like the new Tibalt, and prevent our opponents from being able to cast their stuff from the graveyard with Tibalt, or scary stuff like that. Cathar's Crusade. So in here with Cathar's Crusade, there are 2 cards, in fact, that can go infinite. And unless your opponent has instant speed interaction, there's no way to stop it. Because of Cathar's ETB effect, but we'll get into that later. True Conviction, to give our creatures double strike and lifelink, so help us stay in the game, and close out the game at the same time. Darien, King of Kajeldor. So this is for mono red aggro, our very aggressive deck. So red green, mono red, maybe mono black, like a deck that is focused around life loss, or like dealing a bunch of damage. So probably most likely red decks. This is kind of a counter for that, because as we're being dealt a bunch of damage, we're creating that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens, and that is able to trigger our commander. Mentor of the Meek. This is a great source of card draw. Would definitely recommend you put this in this deck, but you don't have to do that. I suggest you do, because these EDH guides or requests are just to get you pointing in the right direction. You can use some of the cards, none of the cards, all of the cards. It's really up to you. But now for the infinite combo that I was talking about. Scurry Oak or Herd Baloth. Scurry Oak is actually better, because you're able to play it in preparation for Cathar's Crusade, and also because of Evolve and the tokens it creates. So if you haven't connected the 2 pieces yet, how it works is that you'd have Cathar's Crusade out and Scurry Oak, and then you just put a +1/+1 counter on Scurry Oak, and it creates a 1/1. And then from that 1/1 entering the battlefield, Cathar's Crusade triggers off, putting a +1/+1 counter on anyone. And if your commander is out, Bess will get a +1/+1 counter, because that was a 1/1 entering the battlefield. And Bess has already gotten 2 +1/+1 counters, but it doesn't end there, because a +1/+1 counter was put onto Scurry Oak thanks to Cathar's Crusade. It's going to create another scroll, and that process is going to keep on repeating itself infinitely unless our opponents are able to interact with it. And so unless we have like Pest Infestation, which I don't think is instant speed either, like unless you have some instant speed interaction, if you want to stop this combo, you're going to need it. Otherwise, you won't be able to, and I think you'll be stuck in that game forever. And you'll have to call. Oh, well, that was until I read the part where you may create a scroll. So you can go as infinite as you want. Never mind. You don't have to worry about being stuck in the loop forever. False alarm. But or you just have Cathar's Crusade out and you play Scurry Oak, and then everyone gets buffed up. The alternative way to go infinite, and this one you don't have to worry about being caught in an infinite loop, because you may create a beast token, is the Herd Baloth. So has Cathars Crusade out, have Herd Ballast on the battlefield, or if you have it in your hand, you just play and then you go infinite from there. Because of Cathars Crusade and Herd Ballast and how they trigger. Or you just put a plus counter on Herd Ballast and then that leads to the combo. But the reason that the Scurry Oak combo is better than Herd Ballast is because of the token Scurry Oak creates, because they can trigger off Bess and grow her twice as fast. So if your opponent has instant speed interaction, then you're able to get as much out of Bess as what you can. Whereas Herd Ballast, you're not going to be able to get as much before your opponent decides to inevitably maybe interact with your combo. So still having an infinite combo with two alternative pieces, both that can replace each other, is pretty nice. Evolution stage, to make use of our lands so we can proliferate to put more plus counters on our stuff. Colonial Hydra double up on counters. Hooded Hydra, create a bunch of 1/1s and another nice X spell, or could catch someone by surprise. Stone Squall Hydra, another nice X spell that can also grow our commander very big. Not to mention it's amazing because it's a 1/1 for X and triple green, which will end up triggering our commander because its base power toughness is 1. Rampant Rejuvenator. Hold on. Excuse me. Since this could get buffed up when we attack with our commander, if it happens to die in combat, then it's gonna get really. Then since it may be really buffed up, it can end up getting us a lot of lands, and with evolution stage, that could be a lot of proliferate triggers or just a bunch of helpful ramp in general. Speaking of ramp, Tanuki Transplanter, for when we attack, so that we can get an amazing amount of green mana, because the amount of mana we will get when we attack with the equipped creature will be equal to its power, and until in the turn, we do not lose this mana as steps and phases, and it's pretty nice. Banalish Commander, definitely would also recommend this because of Suspend X, because each and every time a time counter is removed, while it is exiled, it creates a 1/1, and since it is removed, since they're being created separately, well, Banalish Commander is triggering separately, I guess I could say. Your commander is going to get buffed up a lot while this is suspended. And then when it enters in, it's also going to be rather big. Vigor, this can really just win us the game suddenly because of what it does. With it preventing damage and putting a plus counter back on creatures for each 1 damage prevented that way. Well, on that creature that would be dealt damage. So say Bess would be dealt 13 damage. Well, that's suddenly 13 plus counters on Bess, which is insane because her attack now would then buff up our creatures a lot more. Conclave Mentor can keep us in the game thanks to the dying, gaining us life, and also adds the counters to the plus counters that we place on creature we control or on creatures we control. Hardened Scales do the same thing, just no life gain. And then finally, Soul's Lieutenant and Soul Warden. Since we're going wide, you may as well be gaining life, like your standard green-white arena player that I saw a lot of in Historic. Really spicing it up, guys. Keep playing. Windburst Kites and Mossworth Bridge for Hideaway. Since we're going wide and we're going to be attacking with more than 3 creatures in our, and the amount of creatures we have are definitely gonna have greater than a greater power than 10. We'll be able to use Hideaway, Gaia's Cradle, and Blighted Seed to also take advantage of the fact that we're going wide. Blighted Seed for life gain and Gaia's Cradle for mana ramp. And then we have 23 basic forests and 23 basic plains. And with that, the end to this commander guide starring Bess Soul Nourisher. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. We're at 35. I'd like to see that number keep on going. Thank you to those of you who are currently subscribed. It shows me that you care a lot. And if you want to be one of those people, just tap that subscribe button and the like button, and also comment. And your first comment, like I said at the beginning of the video, just type in the name of the commander and maybe even the style if you want it. So like I said, for example, Ramos Aristocrats or Rakdos Lord of Riots Aristocrats, whatever you want to see. If you're the first one, then you can comment that and I will gladly fulfill. But if you're not, please comment anyways. I like to see feedback from you guys. I've been getting any really from any of you, and I'd like to see some. So make some requests and talk to me. Tell me what I'm doing right in my videos and maybe how I can do better. Because like it was one comment that someone made that kind of shaped this entire channel. Like you all know how my videos used to be. They used to be like an hour long, and then they were cut down to 30 minutes, and now they've been cut down to 15, like the teens of minutes. Like we rarely now have an episode on this channel where it's like 30 minutes long. And that's all thanks to that one person. And you guys really seem to have liked that. So please comment, help me see what I can do better on this channel, or just comment, just to, be a part of the channel. Don't be hateful or anything. Definitely don't do that. But I like feedback from you guys. It shows me that you care. That means something to me. Don't forget to hit the notification bell that we don't miss another one of my videos or any content coming up. And I already said hit the notification bell. Share this video along with other videos found on my channel. There we go. With that said, I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.